Hi everybody, welcome to HITV. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about Li Shi Zhen.
So Li Shi Zhen is one of the most famous figures in the history of Chinese medicine. What makes him so special?
Well, when we're talking about Li Shi Zhen, we have to talk about the Compendium of Materia Medica, this huge anthology of prescriptions and herbs that was kind of beyond its time.
And how long ago did Li Shi Zhen live?
Well, actually, excitingly enough, he celebrates his 500th birthday this year. Wow. So, and actually one of the newer masters in traditional Chinese medicine.
In Chinese medicine, that's relatively young.
Yes.
So, being that he's younger, we know more about his history and more about his life. Tell me a bit about his early life.
So his early life, we could kind of go back to his family. So we're talking about, he's a third generation doctor. So his grandfather was a traveling doctor, so he would go from village to village, giving out patents and kind of in the trenches doctor work. However, that was not a very prestigious position, so his father, seeking a little bit more prestige or like a little bit more better life, he set up a hospital in a small village in Hubei.
Okay. And how did Li Shi Zhen actually get into medicine?
He got into medicine kind of the best way you could say is a family history, but also in a little bit of a roundabout way. So initially his father pressured him to be in the, what would be the best way of saying it, the aristocrat kind of society, trying to get as high as he could because he could see he was a very intelligent man.
Mm-hmm.
So
he took the imperial examination.
Exactly. So at 14 he showed a lot of promise. He was able at 14 to pass the local level. But then to go on to the provincial level, which is a grueling test, he wasn't able to pass it. He tried 4 times over a period of 9 years and then decided, to heck with this, we're going to go into medicine. I'm a lot more interested in that anyway.
And those imperial exams were really something. I don't know if there's anything in modern times that can compare to those. So, you know, I had heard that Li Shi Zhen's health wasn't very good. Do you think that played a role in his getting into medicine?
Yeah, so being more weaker kind of individual, he had to rely on medicine a little bit more than your average individual. But that also fed into his curiosity in regards to that. So he's able to see, well, why does this work so well for me? Why is this technique the best for my condition? But also seeing how that can be applied to more patients around him. So had a great amount of compassion in that regard as well.
And since there was no television at that time, what we know about Li Shi Zhen comes from his writings. So can you speak a bit about those?
So his writings are very interesting in that he's got, I think, 11 books out that he's written over the period of a great deal of time. But as I mentioned, that really popular one, or the really big crowning achievement, is that Compendium of Materia Medica. So this book took him 27 years to write.
Wow.
Not a small feat. So he had to travel to every province around China. He interviewed not just doctors in the regions, but he interviewed all the local people as well, figuring out how all of these different materials worked in their eyes, not just through the doctor's eyes, or how they were applying them. And then he also even went into the wilderness and hung out there for a while, finding new materials that hadn't been discovered up to this point in time.
And so how long did the actual writing take?
So it was about 17-year process for him to get all of the information together, and then he sat in a dark room for about 10 years to put the entire anthology together. Wow. So he cited every book that was available at that point in time, and that's over 900 books. Wow. In order to confirm all of his findings.
Wow, quite the work.
Mm-hmm.
And what role would you say that plays in modern traditional Chinese medicine?
Modern traditional Chinese medicine? Well, in modern medicine for China, this book lasted a great deal of time. Actually, up until 1949, this book was used as the primary pharmacology book. Mm-hmm. So they were using his formulas, his herbs, all the way for like the next 400 years after he wrote this book.
Wow. Wow. And any other contributions to the medicine?
So two of his other books have survived. One is a discussion on the 8 extra meridians, which is something that we can kind of talk a little bit about later. But the other really big contribution is his book on pulse diagnosis, which is actually one of his father's big contributions as well. Also wrote books on pulse diagnosis. And it's actually the model that we use today for a lot of traditional Chinese diagnosis in pulse especially.
Yeah, actually the pulse system built into traditional Chinese medicine comes from
From Li Shi Zhen, yeah. So it's a really big deal in that regard too.
Wow, what a great figure.
Yeah, a great figure. Definitely somebody we'd like to see emulate if we can, but that is some great big shoes to fill, right?
Yes. You know, in the history of Chinese medicine, there are many sets of big shoes to fill. And coming up, we look forward to bringing you more information about some of those pairs of big shoes. That's all for today. Thank you.
Thanks for listening.